Hi guys, happy Monday. My goodness, we are in, I can't even believe it. Is it Thanksgiving already? Oh my God. You guys, that's crazy. It's so crazy. I can't even conceive of it. I'm just getting stuff set up over here. I hope everybody had the best weekend. I actually had quite a productive weekend, which was nice, gotta say. I hope you guys have had a productive start of the week. I actually used to work in retail advertising. I wasn't talking about being like a cashier in a store, but the advertising arm of it. And you may know the company because they have a certain iconic parade. And I got to volunteer in that certain iconic parade. And every year at this time, I always getting some FOMO. Definitely getting some FOMO. But I'm wishing everybody sending all the positive parade vibes for a happy parade day. And yeah, I'm just like waiting to see all the balloons get set up, and I can't wait to watch the parade and all of that stuff. So this is always a very exciting week. That was like my previous corporate life, but it was always a very like super busy week. People say they're tired when they have kids. Try working in retail advertising and commuting 15 hours a week. Yeah. In in Thanksgiving week, like when you have Black Friday and all that. Yeah. Yeah, that was, but you know what? The payoff is like amazing because you get to do cool things like hang out with bare naked ladies and I don't know, like have some fun with Sesame Workshop and hang out with the Smurfs, ride the bus with like cake and donuts and I don't know, just inline skaters and fairies and clowns and just a lot of fun. So yeah, no regrets. No regrets. And totally cool with having lost all that sleep. So anyway, I hope everybody has some awesome plans for this week. Thanks for joining. I have a little bit of a fun announcement for today. You guys ready for it? Oh my God, I'm so excited. So excited. Let me just do a little adjusting here. Well, I'm doing a podcast. That's where we are today. Welcome to It's Not You. Hi. So, you guys have joined me each week, and I want to go deeper into topics, not just be like that preachy, coachy person that's like talking to me about protein. And, yes, it's really cool to like make protein shakes together, which I love, and protein coffee, as we last did. I'm still glowingly recommending that. But I wanted to dive deeper into topics that explain what your body has been trying to tell you. I'm Jackie, your perimenopause fat loss coach. I spent 15 years coaching figure skating before my own hormonal shift rewrote everything I knew about my body and basically kicked my ass. So now I help women like you all burn fat, fix the fatigue, and drop the bloat so that you can stop buying the bullshit that you've basically got to live what's going on because of your age. Like nonsense, right? And you can finally understand what the fuck is going on. So, welcome because we are gonna dive into stuff. And I think that we've really earned it. This is a conversation that's long been coming. They removed the black box warning off of hormone therapy, HRT. I think that's fabulous because studies have shown over the years, especially recently, that HRT indeed does not decrease the amount, or excuse me, avoiding HRT isn't going to necessarily decrease your risk for cancer. It does not actually increase your risk for cancer unless you specifically are in a group that, like a risk group, for those specific things. Actually, what HRT has been shown to do in recent studies is help women's cardiac health, help women's longevity overall, reducing the risk of strokes. That's huge, right? So let's fucking talk about it, because I know I'm definitely, I just feel a little bit now with the black box warning off, and we're a little bit more, it's almost like a bottleneck's been cleared a little bit. We still have a long way to go, but I want to be a little bit more, air out the topics a little bit more than just, like I said, talk at you the topics, you know. So today I want to talk about our bodies, because we're always told it's age, it's this, it's that. Well, what's going on in midlife, it doesn't mean your body's broken. It just means you have like a new operating system, right? So we update our phones all the time with a new operating system. Well, that's what happens. We hit midlife and we get this new operating system. And we sit here in ourselves feeling all this shit going on, you know, the whir and stir of the storm that's going on, and everybody else is just, you know, carrying on and, you know, acting like you're the crazy one, but you're not, because you're feeling real things, because real shit's going on. So if you've been feeling like your body is sort of glitching, you know, like things used to work and then suddenly they don't, like you're doing everything right, you know, you're just not getting traction at this point, then this discussion is for you. All right. There comes a point in so many women's journeys, especially in your late 30s, 40s, 50s, sometimes even in your early 30s, because you can hit peri early, all right, where your body just stops responding the way it used to. And it's not because you're doing something wrong at all, and definitely not because your body's broken. It's because your body is making this shift into an entirely new operating system, and nobody fucking told you the update was coming. You hear these whispers of like menopause, but literally it's perimenopause. That's the real kicker here. Staying hydrated. So you've been trying to like run on this new system using the old rules, and it's just not working, right? So here's what's actually happening beneath the surface. Your metabolism, hormones, stress response, your ability to recover, you know, when you feel extra tired because you're not recovering like you used to, your energy regulation systems, they've all shifted, okay? They haven't collapsed. They haven't like betrayed you, you know, they're just shifting, you know. And I referred to it for a long time as an evolution, because when it was funny, when I turned 40, everybody was telling me, oh my God, you're gonna hit 40, this, that, and the other thing. No, dude, when I hit 40, I'm like, what is the actual big deal? Actually, 40 is pretty cool, because when I hit 40, for anyone who, which is probably quite a number of you, don't know, I don't have any children of my own. And so when I hit 40, I finally saw a decline in the amount of conversations where people were asking me if I was going to have kids soon, and didn't I meet someone, and this and that and the other thing. Like, it's nanya. Nanya. And when you hit 40, it's like, yes, they stopped asking. So I found it very liberating. But you have to kind of figure that then Perry hit, and I'm like, oh my goodness. Like, now what? So my body, your body, it's prioritizing things that we didn't have to focus on in our early 20s and into our 30s, you know, like protecting muscle, regulating stress load, stabilizing blood sugar, and adapting to life, just kind of that life season overwhelm. Because if hitting midlife wasn't enough, we become parents of children who now have packed athletic schedules. And despite me not being a mom personally, I do actually understand us non-childbearing people do actually understand the craziness of an athletic schedule because we grew up too and we were kids too, and I was the child with the crazy busy athletic schedule. So I do understand how busy my parents were basically managing my schedule. I get that. So there definitely is this life season change, and it can feel overwhelming because your kids have tournaments and games and recitals and theater practice and sports practice, and then they have to go to the other sport to practice, right? You know, and then we become caretakers sometimes, you know, earlier than we anticipate, or we are the youngest child and our parents are older, you know, so the caretaking happens. Oop, hold on one second. Sorry. What is going on here? Hmm. Wow. Wow. What happened? I got a little, sorry guys. One second. A little bit of a blip here. Just trying to put my, there we go. Let's try it. Just rejoin here. Sorry about that. Gotta get this back on the live stream. Well, we'll just worry about that later. Oh my gosh. Sorry about that. So what I was saying, holy mackerel, that was crazy. I think my internet just kind of glitched. So my apologies for that. Anyway, I was saying that we go into this life season sort of overwhelm, you know, when we become even caretakers, you know, and sometimes it happens earlier rather than later. So, which means like, here we are, we're trying to balance all this stuff, but eating less isn't going to create the same results as it used to. Pushing harder backfires faster. Stress lands deeper. How many of us feel stress so much deeper, and stretching ourselves thin just does not work, right? Doesn't work anymore. At least not like it used to, because you're feeling the stress so much deeper, so much more. In fact, you're feeling it so much that your body is physically reacting to it. So these are all stuff we're going through, like really going through. So fueling properly becomes essential, not optional anymore. Remember that? Let me just say it louder for the people in the back. Fueling becomes essential, not optional. All right. Recovery is no longer a luxury. It is essential. Let me say that louder for the people in the back. Recovery is no longer a luxury. It is essential. So you've got to, even if you're getting up through the night, even if you typically sleep 6 hours or less a night, you still need to buy back your time and aim for 8 hours, 7 minimum. So you buy it back 15 minutes at a time, relax in bed a little bit longer, do the sleep routine to get there. Okay. Things like that. Buy back that time. And hormones, lastly, influence everything. So, and you know, because no one warned you this was coming. We talk about menopause regularly in society. We don't talk about perimenopause. Most people don't know what the fuck that is. You're like, perimenopause? Are you talking about menopause? No, dude, don't correct me. I know what I'm talking about. That perimenopause, she's a bee, let me tell you. But your body isn't trying to frustrate you. It's trying to keep you alive, steady, and safe inside this new era that it's facing. And the issue isn't your metabolism specifically. It's that you're using an outdated playbook on how to manage your system that has now evolved into the new operating system, right? So this season of your life isn't asking for you to be more disciplined, more perfect, or smaller. Okay, we're not looking to shrink ourselves. I know a lot of people look for that weight loss, the number on the scale isn't moving. It's not looking for us to be smaller, tougher, more extreme with our approach or our methods. It's asking you to become more attuned to what the heck is going on. All right. More body aware, more self-respecting, more aligned with what's currently going on. Not the younger version of you where you could just be so out of touch and keep, going out to those happy hours, having all the wings, all the alcohol. It has like zero effect, right? So it's not asking that of you. It's also, remember that younger version of you when you first started working and you could like go seriously hard, work super late, get in super early. You didn't feel a thing. You could like live on caffeine and it would be fine. And it's not fine anymore. Like you can't do that because your body is physically not letting you feel like it's fine. Nothing's fine. Okay. So it's our job to be more in tune with it, to make your body feel safer. All right. You don't need a harsher strategy. You need a version of you that works with who you are now. A woman with experience, a woman with responsibilities, a woman with a life load of stuff. You're a woman in a new era of life. All right. So your body didn't malfunction. You just evolved and your strategies need to evolve with you. So where have you been taking your body's changes personally? So instead of seeing them as signals that you're in a new operating system, let that guide sort of what your vision is for the next step forward. What does your 1% better look like? That's what I want you to think about. What does your 1% better look like for the coming week? So if you're a client, I want you to bring this to your check-in this week. And I want to see where this is showing up for you personally, this operating, in a new operating system, right? Living in this new body. And if you're listening to this at home, your next step is very simple. You can get your Wellness IQ, comment or DM IQ, and I'll send you my quiz. And you can finally understand what your body's been trying to tell you and what era you're in. So I wanted to thank you so much for hanging out today. It's been great. And remember, I'm here every Monday at noon Eastern. So bring a friend, and I will see you guys next week.